The cost of living. Let's get into it.
I'm going to leave this here so people can reminisce how it used to be back in the good old days.
This economy is so bad. $33 for toilet paper? We can't even afford to shit.
Like, are we dead serious right now? Like, are we dead ass? Is this real life?
Look at that. You gotta be kidding us, Ruffles.
A regular Coke, 3 for $20.97. Like actual soda, $21.
What the fuck? Used to get a whole cup.
$13.99? $14? For what? A gallon of orange juice? Y'all must be out of y'all.
For 2 pounds of lunch meat, $23. How the hell we supposed to feed our kids on this crap?
Truly, look at this. Look how small this pack is. Seriously? That fits like in my palm. Crazy.
The grocery stores are like, it look like it haven't even been touched.
This is why Americans are obese now, because why is one singular apple, $2.99?
Y'all, Walmart is tripping. Or am I tripping? $44 for this sweater at Walmart.
$8.29? No freaking way. $10 for Fruit Loops? Like, what do you mean?
There's no reason for foil to be this expensive. This is at Sam's Club. No goddamn reason for this.
When the fuck did coffee get this expensive?
Run to Publix and get your ground beef for only $9.49 a pound. And guess what? Publix thinks it's a
Angus Franks, $8.19 a pack. That's like, yo, there's only 8 francs in there. It's an evil world we live in, yo.
Is buy 2, get 3 free? What do you mean? That's literally... We're poor.
Okay, I get that it's organic, but then have a choice. $10.99.
You want to know what ruffles my feathers is? Groceries are so dang expensive. I have a family of 4, and I probably spend at least $200 a week on groceries alone. What is happening? And by the end of the week, we're ready to go back to the store because our fridge is about empty.
America has literally built a system where being poor is more expensive. And nobody talks about how backwards that is. Like, if you're already struggling, everything costs more. On a bill you couldn't afford? Well, now you owe more. Miss a payment because you were trying to juggle rent and groceries? Well, now your credit drops and you owe even more money. Overdraw your account by a few dollars? Well, now you owe $50. Like, this system punishes you for already being behind. We're always rewarding millionaires while the people that are struggling the most just simply end up paying the most money. But everybody still says, work harder, budget better. The reality right now is the economy is brutal. It is so hard to get ahead right now. How are you supposed to get ahead whenever you fall behind a little bit and the system just keeps pushing you back further and further? Everything is insane right now. Rent is at an all-time high. Groceries are so expensive. I don't understand how we're supposed to get ahead in this economy anymore. Don't get me wrong, budgeting does help. I literally have to budget with mine or else I don't know where any of my money would be going. But it doesn't make up for the fact that the system is literally designed to fail us. So if you're struggling right now, you are not alone.
What is happening in America? Blueberries are $8. And they're not even the organic ones. Like,
is it just me or have groceries increased? Last week I was at Walmart. I get baby wipes because I need them for my 2 sons. Went from 98 cents to $1.17. That's like a 20-cent raise. Like, that's ridiculous. 4.5 pounds of ground beef at Walmart, $36. That was like the 70-30 fat count. Like, what do they expect us to eat with prices so insane? I know some of it's from what's going on in the Middle East and gas prices and everybody's scared and so they're raising prices. Well, the average American can't afford prices to go up 20 cents on everything or $1 or more. Like it's just ridiculous. I can't even buy meat for my family.
Wait a minute, because I have to show y'all this. Now y'all see all of this? Green peppers, yellow peppers, red peppers, broccoli. Why is it $27.96 though? Can anybody tell me why this right here is $27.96?
5 bags, 2 items, a drink, and some chicken, and some vegetables. What's going on in America?
4, 5, 6 items purchased. $71 fucking dollars.
$100 for this? Excuse me?
Just look at what I got for $100 freaking.
I spent $100 in just this. This is not a lot for $100.
What is it?
This is bullshit.
$9.99. The cherries. This little bag.
And that's not all. Look at the butter. The butter is almost $13.
Tell me I'm tripping. When the fuck did the cereal become $8?
$31.99 for toilet paper.
Am I crazy? Since when was Coke $4? I remember when they hiked it from $1.50 to $2.25, $2.50, and I thought that was a huge.
60% of the American public is about to lose everything they have. People living paycheck to paycheck are about to go broke. The GDP numbers came in yesterday, and of course the economy receded, which I predicted 2 months ago, and people laughed. Mark my words, the second quarter is going to be far worse. Tariffs on Chinese products at 145% are about to kick in, which means everything you buy from China on Amazon or elsewhere is about to go through the roof. Grocery store shelves are starting to empty at Walmarts across the country, and of course grocery prices continue to soar. People who've been financing groceries on credit are starting to default on those payments. We are about to see an economic catastrophe. If you're in this 60% that has little or no money, please stop spending money. Protect your family. Trump does not care about you. Even if you voted for him, he's a billionaire. He won't suffer, but you and your family will. Please protect yourself. 60% of the American.
Guys, this is very serious and a major food crisis could be coming. New data reveals that 70% of US farmers can't afford fertilizer in 2026. And if farmers can't afford fertilizer, crops don't grow properly, yields drop, food production drops. And as you can imagine, that's where the real problem starts. Now add this on top. We're having major issues with fertilizer supply. First, about 1/3 of the global supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz, and ongoing conflict has disrupted shipping and even shut down production plants. The actual supply is shrinking as well because major fertilizer plants have been damaged or are just going up in flames. A lot of suspicious stuff happening around those plants in my opinion, but either way, millions of tons of supply have been taken off the market, and also countries are restricting their export supply so they have enough for themselves. Chris Martenson is warning that this could turn into a serious food crisis, not years from now, but much sooner than expected. And here's the thing, when food shortages hit, it doesn't slowly ease in. Shelves get wiped fast, prices spike overnight. You don't need to panic, but you do need to move now. Start stacking basic foods right now. Rice, beans, oats, canned food, anything you already eat and that has a long shelf life. Even adding a little bit each week puts you ahead of 90% of people.
Okay, so as we close out this conversation, one thing is becoming painfully clear. The cost of groceries in America is no longer just an inconvenience. It's a crisis that is quietly reshaping everything, everyday life, okay? Because, I mean, let's be honest. People don't have the luxury of opting out of food. I mean, you can cancel subscription, you can delay buying clothes, you can cut back on entertainment, but groceries, that is survival, guys. That's non-negotiable. And yet, what we're seeing right now is a situation where the very thing people cannot live without is becoming harder and harder to afford. You walk into a store, okay, today you pick up a few basic items, and the total already feels overwhelming. Then you go back the next day, and somehow the price has shifted again. That instability alone creates stress because people can't even plan anymore. And this isn't just a feeling, it's backed by real data, okay? Grocery prices in the United States have risen significantly over the past few years, climbing more than 28% since 2020. That means what used to cost you a certain amount just a few years ago now costs dramatically more and more for many families. I mean, and the income hasn't even picked up. Even in more recent numbers, food prices are still rising. As of 2026, grocery costs are about 2.4 higher than the year before, which is 2025, and beverages are seeing are even getting more expensive. Okay, so yes, inflation might be slowing on paper, but in real life, people are still paying more every single time they shop. And it even is harder when you look at specific items like meat, eggs, and basic staples, which have become more expensive. I mean, with eggs alone skyrocketing in recent years due to supply issues like diseases, outbreaks affecting farmers, and the situation with illegal immigrants being no one is willing to work on the farms. So that has also contributed to this crisis. Call it whatever you want. Yeah, but it is a crisis. Now, add that on top of everything else going on, housing costs, fuel, utilities, and it even becomes clear why so many Americans feel like they are constantly playing catch up. And then there's the issue of labor and farming. There's been growing concern about the agriculture workforce, especially with, excuse me, fewer workers available for physically demanding farm jobs. When labor shortages happen in agriculture, it affects production, and when production drops, prices go up. It's a chain reaction. At the same time, many Americans are not stepping into those roles, often because the work is physically demanding, seasonal, and not always well paying compared to other options. So, what you end up with the system under pressure from multiple angles: labor shortage, supply chain issues, global factors, and political policy decisions, all pushing prices upward. And unfortunately, the people who feel it the most are everyday families, especially larger families, because when you're not just buying for yourself, but for your children, for your household, every single price increase multiplies. What might seem like a small change on paper becomes a heavy burden in real life. And here's the uncomfortable truth: this isn't something that's likely to just snap back to normal. Historically, once prices rise, they rarely return to where they used to be. They might slow down, they might stabilize, but they don't rewind. So the question becomes, what can people actually do? Now, let's be real, okay? There's no perfect solution. There's no quick fix that suddenly makes grocery affordable again. But there are small steps people are starting to consider. Things like gardening, even if it's just a small backyard setup, growing a portion of your own food can at least reduce dependency on constantly rising store prices, on stocking up on non-perishable goods when possible, items that can last longer: rice, canned foods, dry foods, things that can give you some level of control in a situation where prices feel unpredictable. So, will it solve everything? The answer is no. But in times like these, even small measures can make a difference, because at the end of the day, people still have to eat. And that is what makes this issue so serious. It's not just about luxury, it's not about convenience, it's about survival, it's about dignity, it's about being able to provide for yourself and your family without feeling like you're being snatched to the breaking point. So, as we move forward, this is something that deserves attention, conversation, and real solutions, not just headlines and statistics. But I want to hear from you guys. What has your experience been with grocery prices lately? Have you noticed the changes? How are you coping? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below as we, try to go through this. It might get better, it might not. Yeah, I'm not scaring you. This is for educational purposes only. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below, and may God help us. Yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Stay peaceful.